Hello, good morning.
Hi everyone, very good morning and good evening. Just a minute, guys. We'll start the session. Let me share my screen. Okay. So in the last session, what we have done, so we discussed about like how to work with a user stage and how to work with a table stages. Right. So when we are working with the table stage, we saw that. So how to load multiple files, how to load a specific files, and how to load a specific columns. And user stage, we will use it for user level restriction. Table stage, we will use it for table level restriction, right? Table level restriction. And coming to most of the time, we are going to use named stage. Named stage, we can use it for internal as well as external. Internal as well as external. It means internal means if we are picking any file from our local system, right? Then we will call it as a internal. If you are working with cloud locations, like for example, AWS S3 bucket or so Azure, so cloud location or GCP, then we will call it as a external. So we have two options. One is internal and then as well as external. And at the same time, so when it is coming to name stage, we will have file properties. File properties will be available. So name stage can be used for both the things. And so there is no restriction, no restrictions. It means any table we can use the files. Once we upload it into the name stage, we can use it for any tables. We can use it for any user can able to use the named stage. Name stage will have some additional file properties. Name stage will be not created default. We need to create a name stage. We have to create named stage. It will not be available by default. But user stage, when the user is available, user stage will be there. When the table is available, table stage will be there, right? But when it is coming to the name stage, we have to create it. And so this one we can use it for internal as well as external. Okay, so now, so let's observe this, how we can able to utilize the name stage and then how to load the data by using a name stage properties. Now, so let's come to this. So if you wanted to create a name stage, you have to use create stage, stage name. We can use, so you can give any name here. Just I am giving, so easily to identify. So just I am giving the same name, named stage. Now observe this, stage is created. Whatever the stage we have created here, right? This particular stage, you can able to see that in our so user interface also. If you observe, go to the database, and then if you come to the stages, see this one. So previously the user stages, those are the internal. So it is not showing anything here. The name stage which we created, you can able to see that named stage here, right? And what we discussed, name stage will have the properties, right? If you observe, if you wanted to see the name stage, list at the rate stage name, list at the rate stage name. So user stage, list at the rate tilt, right? So at the rate percentage, table name is table stage. At the rate stage name, this is for a so stage name stage. Now if you observe, stage is created, stage is created. If you wanted to see what all the properties it contains, describe stage, stage name. Now observe this one. So what is the stage? This is a named stage. If you describe this, describe stage, stage name. When you are describing, no need to give at the rate. It is not required. See this one. All these are the file properties, different properties of that particular file format properties, copy options, different options will be available. If you see some of the properties, right, like field delimiter, we are going to use, and then skip header, right? Skip header equal to 1 we will use by default, right? The same way, so we can use some of the other properties also, which it is already available. If you observe on error, if you have any error, then so what needs to be done, and then purge statement, truncate column options, force, URL, enable, enforce length, right? So all these things we can able to so see that in the next sessions we will see some of the main important properties which we will use so in our the implementation. These are the properties which it is available for a named stage. This is not available for user stage and then table stages, only name stage. Now we created a name stage, right? In this particular stage we don't have anything. Now, if you load any file into this particular stage, right, automatically any table can be utilized this, and then any user can be utilized. Any user can able to use this, and then any table they can use. Now, let's observe this. For example, if you wanted to implement this, what we will do is we will pick a table, and then so from that this is so the from the table this is the files in these are the files which we wanted to load by using name stage. The same files we will pick, and then we will see the options how to implement it. So first what we required, so we require to create a table if you wanted to load, right? So let's create a table here, and when we are creating a table, create table, so and then table name. So why we are using um, replace here, create or replace, we can just use a create table, right? Let's say for example I am not using this particular create or replace, just I am using create table emp underscore named stage, named stage. When I am using this table, when I am creating this, created a table, right? Now the table is available in our database. See this one, table is available. If I try to recreate it, if I try to again create it, what it will tell? See this one, table named stage. So table emp underscore name stage, it already exists. It already exists. It means it is not allowing us to load. It is not allowing us to load the data. Sorry, allowing us to create it, right? Now, if you wanted to recreate, so what will happen is if you use create or replace, this is a default syntax, create or replace, what will happen if the table is already available also? So it will drop the table existing one, and then it will replace the existing one. The everything will be gone, it will drop, and then it will recreate it. So that's why we'll use create or replace. Otherwise, just we will use create table. Normally we will use create table. This is the default syntax. Now observe this one. See this table is created. So without create or replace, it will tell that so table is already exist, right? Now the table is available. Now which stage we are going to use it here? We are going to use named stage. We need to have the file in named stage. To keep the file in the name stage, what we need to do? We have to use a put command, right? Now let's observe this one. So we will use put command here, and then let's change the path here. So from the default path, so we'll remove the path, and here at the rate, what is the stage name? Named underscore stg. What is the name? This one, right? Named underscore stg. According to that we have changed. Now the here the path we have to give. So where the file is available? Here. right? So if you wanted to pick the path, shift and hold your shift button, select the file, hold your shift button, right click, you will get copy as a path, right? Copy as a path. Now come here and we are going to give this one. See this one? Now given the path here. Now, if you wanted to run this, will it work in user interface? No, right? Where we have to connect? We have to connect it to CLI to implement a put command, right? Now, come and then like a command prompt, CMD, command prompt, and just a type snow SQL space -a space and then account details. What is our account details here? From here to here, from here to till. So before Snowflake computing, copy this one and then right click here. Just hit enter. Okay. Now it is going to ask you the username and password. When you are giving, don't give semicolon. Username giving Snowflake and then the password going to give the password I have given. Now username and password we have given Snowflake 8, username is Snowflake 8. Just a minute. Then I have given the password. Now it will connect. Now we need to connect it to warehouse. Use warehouse. By default, the suggestions will come. Use warehouse name. Then use database and then database name. Right. So now here we require to give that copy command, sorry, put command implementation. Let's copy this one. Copy. Come here. Right click. Now we are going to load this particular file into the stage area, right? Now the file is available here. List at the rate named stg. If you observe, you can able to see the file. The file is available, right? File is available in the named stage. When the file is available in name stage, you can use these files for any table, any user can able to use this file. There is no restriction. If you observe here, let's say now the file is available. So if you wanted to like to copy the data, so copy into table from the stage area, right? Now let's observe this. Copy into what we are going to do. Copy into table. What is the table name? emp underscore named stage. This is a table name. And then what is the stage name? At the rate named underscore stage. At the rate named underscore stage. And then so what you have file format options. Now when you execute this, it will allow you to load the data. Now if you wanted to, for example, if you wanted to run a query, what you are doing, we are selecting and then we are clicking on run, right? Otherwise, the shortcut, if you wanted to use, before that, the properly it has to end with so the semicolon. Now here we have ended, and then so previous so semicolon. So here keep the cursor where from where to where you want to run. From here to here it will run, right? So so before that it should be properly ended with semicolon. From there, the next line it will consider to here. Keep the cursor here. Use control enter. Control enter. So here what it is telling, spelling mistake,
Named underscore STG it is.
named underscore stg, spelling mistake, named underscore stg. Now see this one, name stage does not exist, it is telling. Yeah. Thank you. Now let's observe this. Keep the cursor here, control enter. Observe this one, right? So if you use just control enter, it is going to execute. So otherwise, you can select this, and then so from where to where you need to run, and then you can use a run option. Now the file has been loaded into the table, right? If you observe in the name stage, you can able to see the data. We can able to see the data. Now let's create another table underscore test, stage underscore test. So just to check, so whether we have any restriction or not. Now let's create a table. We are creating a new table name with the same structure, with the same structure. Now, if you want, the table is available, test table. See this one, test table is available. Now, if you wanted to load into the test table, what you need to do? So you have to use underscore test. That's it, right? Now if you observe here and here, see this one, here we have, so stage table name, here we have the different table name, but here we have a same stage name, here we have a same stage name. We are using a same stage name. This is named stage. This is named stage. Now let's run this here, this one. Observe this, it's allowing us, right? When your file is available in a name stage, there is no restriction. Okay, any particular person can, a user can use any table. We can able to use that particular files. Clear, right? This one. So now, so what we'll do is, so here, so when you are implementing, so if you observe here, so how many, for example, let's take this one. Here, if you observe, this data, it's loaded from 3 different files. Now, if you wanted to know from which file, which particular file, so the data has been loaded. So this particular row, from which file it came from, if you wanted to know that, so then we have a option called file properties, file name, metadata file name, and then metadata file row number. Those so by using those properties, we can able to understand, so from which file the data has been loaded. Data has been loaded from which file, we can able to understand that. So now let's observe here. So what will happen here? Now just observe this. What we will do is we will create, for example, we will try to load files. Before that, what we required is we need a file name, and then we need a file row number. It means, for example, let's assume all the 3 files we have loaded. From here, all the 3 files we have loaded into single table. So once it is loaded, we need to know what is the file name of that particular row, and then what is the row number in that particular file. If you observe, if I open any file, this is a row number, right? For example, this is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, right? And then what is the file name? Employee2 is the employee2 dot, so XLS, this one is the file name dot CSV is the file name, right? But so this is the row number, right? Like that, we wanted to know in the table itself, once it is loaded, we wanted to see which file it is, and then what is the row number of that particular file. If you wanted to see that, then what we will do is, so let's create a table structure like that. So we need a table structure, right, to implement that. So let's create a table. See this one, create or replace table, table name. Already we have connected to class and public, and then we creating a table name with emp underscore metadata. These things, file name, file row number, it will get it from a metadata information from the stage area. File row number, file name, and file row number, these are the 2 columns we are creating. Along with that, the actual columns is available. Now observe this one, we are creating here, created a table, right? So we created a table, and so we will keep the file in same, we can keep all the files in a same name stage also, right? if you wanted to keep all the files, what we can do, we can give star here. All right, we can give star and then execute the put command. Come here, not copied properly. Just a minute. Copy. Now right click. Now the file which is already loaded, it will not load that particular file. Remaining two files will be loaded. See this one? The file one is skipped and then file two, file three has been loaded. So if you see list at the rate named underscore stg, you can able to see all the three files is available here. Now all the three files when we are loading, so we need to understand, so what is the file name and then what is the file row number. These information we required. So to do that, what we have to do is, so here, so once it is loaded, when we are implementing a copy command, we need to use this one. So metadata file name and metadata. So file name and then row number. Observe this one. So copy into table. Copy into the table from, normally when we are using specific columns at the rate stage we will use, and then $1 $2 we have used. The same way, so here also we have metadata file name, then it will pick the file name from the metadata, and metadata file row number, it will pick the row number from the metadata. So this is, so internally it will pick from the stage area, and what are the columns we required along with that. So $1 $2, around 5 columns we have, right? All the 5 columns we are picking from the stage area, from at the rate named underscore stg, right? Named underscore stg. So from here we are going to pick. Now observe this one. So what we are doing, so select metadata file name, file row number, and then remaining all the columns from the particular named underscore stage. The same stage we are using, right, for every table, right? So no need to create separate for stages for the different tables, right? If any restriction, confidential files, then only we will think about table stage or user stages. Otherwise, we can use a named stage. Now, when you run this, see this one, what will happen? It will pick these column names, whatever the column names, right? File name and then file row number from that particular stage. Now, let's observe this here. We are going to load. See this one. The all the three files data has been loaded to the table, right? All the three files data, it's loaded here. Now, if you check the data in the table here, see this. So this one, right? This is the table. Now, preview data. If you observe, see this one. For example, if you search with India, right? You can able to see this particular file came from this particular row. It came from employee 3 file and row number is 4. Row number is 4, right? And then this particular one came from employee 1 file and then row number is 4. This particular file, this particular row, it came from, so loaded from employee 2 file and then row number is 4. Row number 4 from that particular the file. What we can understand here, we can understand what is the file name and then what will be the file row number, these things. So if it is required, then only we will use, otherwise we won't use that. In the recent interviews they're asking this question, that's why we are discussing this metadata file name. This option is available, we can make use of this option to load the data into the tables. So when you are loading, if you wanted to know from which particular thing, so which particular like a row, which particular file data has been loaded, we can use these things, right? Okay, now just a minute. Okay, sorry. So now let's come to till now what we have done. So we have implemented so data loading. We are uploading the data, right? By using a put command, what we are doing here, by using put command, we are loading, right? Uploading so data to stage, right? From where? From file to file to stage, then from the stage to the table we are using, right? So when we are using this, we are going to use a put command, right? We are using put command for uploading. Now for example, let's assume the same way why you are coming to the this put command. We have a user interface options, because if you are dealing with a huge volume of the files, then user interface option, load table option will not work, right? That's why we are using this. Now when it is coming to this particular thing, so file to stage and then stage to table, we are uploading, right, by using a put command. Suppose the same way, so we have a restriction for downloading data also. It means, for example, if you observe any table, we have data here, right? We have data here. Now, whatever the data available in the Snowflake tables, this table data, I wanted to download into my local system. Then, so what is the procedure for that? Just observe this one. So here, so what we have done, file to stage, stage to the table we have done, right? Suppose in our Snowflake tables, already the data is available. Now the requirement is these tables data, we wanted to keep it in our local file. So here also, we cannot load directly from table to the file. What is the option it will happen is, in the back end, it will keep it in a, we have to keep it in a stage first, then stage to the file implementation, then stage to file, table to stage to the file. This is the process. Now let's observe this here. For example, so here if you observe, when you observe this, so one option, one difference here, you can able to see it here. See this, when I am using preview data, observe this, preview data, can you able to see download option here? When you are using preview data, you don't have download option here. So you have some details, and then you have the column names, right? You have the column names, and then you have the details. Now when you observe this particular one, so let's say for example, so if you use select star from table emp, right? When you run this, when you run this, so because why it is not show, not using when I use control enter, because see this one, this it didn't ended properly. Now control enter, now you can able to see the data. Now observe this one here. Now we have download option is available, right? Download option is available. So when you are downloading a data, this one, when you are downloading a data, you will have only two options. One is so tab separated values, another one is comma separated values. This is one of the certification question. When you are downloading, what all the formats Snowflake will support? Snowflake will support only TSV format and then CSV format when you are downloading. Tab separated means it will, each and every column will be separated with tab. Each and every column will be separated with tab. And so CSV, it is going to convert into the CSV format. Whatever the data is available here, automatically it will convert into CSV file and it will download the data. Now, whatever the data is available in this table, we wanted to download into our local system. For that, what we are doing is observe this download option, click on this, comma separated values, and then click on export. See this one, it has been downloaded here. If you observe this, whatever the data is available here, the completely it is downloaded the data into that particular file. This is a CSV file format. And another option is we have a tab separated, right? TSV, tab separated value. The same tab separated value, it will be used for copy into the clipboard command. See this one, copy result, right? When you click on copy, when you click on copy, it will copy to the clipboard, and you can able to see that how it looks like. This is a tab separated format. See this one, each and every column in between, the thing is it's a tab is a separator, this one, right? Every in between the column to column, tab is separating, right? Tab is separating. So this is a tab separator, right? So this one, so we can use, so for the when you are downloading or when you are copying to the clipboard, only two options Snowflake will support.
If
One
you
is
copy the
TSV.
data and if you copy the data and put it in Excel, how it will look like? Do you mind trying it?
Same.
It will
See
show
this
as
one.
a TSV or put it in an Excel.
Let's say, for example, it will not allow properly. Just a minute. See this one. You meant to say. So you can see this.
This one you exported as CSV, right? Okay.
See this one. It will not come
Uh,
in properly. Okay.
okay.
Cool. So now, so let's observe this one. So we have done this. Now, if you observe what we discussed, so we have limitation here. Like when you are uploading a file, we have a limitation of 100 MB, right? The same way, when you are downloading also, when you are clicking on copy command also, so when you click on copy to the clipboard also, if it is a, this is very less volume of the records, it will able to download, you can able to copy. But if you has huge volume of the data, if the file is greater than, for example, greater than 100 MB, if you try to implement it, then these options will not work. These options is not going to work. Then what is the option for that? We have to use get command. We have to use get command. So this is for unloading the data. Put command is for uploading the data, right? Get command is for unloading the data. So we are getting it from the table. When you are using put, we are uploading into a table, right? Where you are uploading into the stage specifically, right? Now when you are like picking the data from a table, first where you need to keep the data, in a stage area. Once it is available in a stage, from the stage we can keep that into a file format by using copy command. So what we are doing, we are uploading from the stage to the table. Now it's a reverse process, right? So the table, already the data is available. From the table, we need to keep the data into the stage area in a file format, in a stage area. Then of once it is available in a stage, so you have to download. For to download, we are going to use get command implementation. Let's observe this here. So how to do that? So it's just a, so exactly the reverse process what we are going to do. So if you observe the copy into implementation, see this one. So what we need to do here, copy into, let's come to this, copy into table, sorry, copy into stage, right? So this is emp table. If you observe list at the rate percentage, table will have a table stage, right? When the table is available, see this is a stage area. Can you able to see any file here? Nothing. In a stage we don't have anything. Now we are going to copy into the stage at the rate percentage emp. From where? From table. Already the data is available in table. See this one, reverse process. Previously what we are doing, copy into the table from the stage, but now what we need to do, copy into the stage, copy into stage from table, right? When you observe this, see this one, we are copying, right? It's rows unloaded. Observe this, rows unloaded. So 12 rows unloaded. So previously when you observe list at the rate percentage emp, it's empty. Now observe this, the file is available. See the file, right? The date. So now the file has been created. So we have what we have done. So we have copied the data so into stage from the table. It will like copy, it will be like in a, again it will be in a zip file format only, gzip format by default, right? Now the file is available. This one what we wanted to do, we wanted to keep it in our, this is available in a stage, we wanted to keep this file into our local system. For that what we have to use is get command. To upload we are going to use a put command. To get that we are going to use our get command. Observe this one, get from where, from the stage, from the stage, and where you need to keep the file, and then file you are going to keep. So when you are like downloading, right, only two forward slashes. Now here you wanted to download it into this particular path. Let's observe this particular path, we wanted to implement it here, right? So let's give the implementation. See this one, get the person at the rate percentage emp, this is a stage, and then we are going to download into this particular thing. Now let's run this. Let's observe this one. If you run this get command, it will work in UI? No, right? Put and get both will not work in user interface. Then where you have to run this, we have to run this in our CLI. Copy this one and see this one, it is not supported. Now let's come here and then click. So get, so this particular, from this particular stage, so pick the file and then keep it into this particular location. That's the meaning of this, right? Now when I click on this, see this one, what you observed here, it has been downloaded. If you observe here in that particular folder, previously it is not available, the file has been downloaded here in the gzip format. See this one, whatever the data is available, it loaded into the file. The file we have downloaded into our local system. What we have done here, so we have downloaded from the table, our Snowflake table, to our local system. The same way we are going to upload the data into our, this is we are using on premises, nothing but in our local system, right? The same way when you are working with a cloud locations, right, we will see how to work with, when you are dealing with a cloud locations, how to work with, how to upload the file into the external stage by using external stage, how to pick the data from the cloud locations, so how to like implement that, how to download it so into that cloud locations, the stage. So we will see that also at that particular time. Now so what we have done, we saw that how to upload and then how to download, and then what are the different types of the stages is available, what is the purpose of that, and then just we are seeing so all the files whatever we have loaded without any errors, without any errors we have loaded the file, everything it looks good, the file it is not throwing any error, we have loaded. For example, in the next session what we are going to discuss is if you have any error in a file, how to deal with that, or if you wanted to skip any files, so if you have 10 files in that, so 2 to 3 files is having error, how to skip the file, and how to identify the how many valid records, how many invalid records in a file. Before loading itself you wanted to understand how many are valid, how many are invalid, then only we have to load the data to the table. Once it is loaded, how many loaded, how many not loaded, and So once it is loaded, how to pick, so whichever the records is skipped, so from that particular file, and then how to truncate the columns, right? So all those things we will see that in the next session, guys. We will stop it here. So please practice till here, and let's come to the questions in the chat window first. So then we will come one by one. Just a minute. Sorry. Hmm. Difference between metadata and then table data. Yeah, metadata, right? So nothing but it is going to give have high level information related to the table. For example, count information, maximum, minimum, and how many columns. When you describe, for example, simple thing, if you observe here, simple thing, if you observe, see this, when we are moving the cursor on the table, it is giving some information, right? Who is the owner, who is created, and then what is the rows, how many rows, what is the size. This kind of information will be in a metadata. And then in a table, you will have the details about the complete related to data only. Okay, that is the difference. And what are the columns? So apart from the file name and then file row number, so we have like so many things will be there. So if you wanted to just check, so you can come to here, and then so metadata example. So what are the metadata, so functions we can able to use. Information schema, not this one. Metadata fields in Snowflake. So you can see this, right? Different things is available. So for the example, you can get so many information, the query result information, so how the query ran, and integration information. These are the high level it is showing. Yeah, say this one. So metadata, file name, and then file row number. File name, the file row number, and then so you can able to see that from the information schema. So what all the other columns is available here. So most of the time, see this one. So this is the example. So here, so what are the other columns, you can able to see them. So by using the implementation. So mainly these are the two columns we are going to use. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. So next. Okay. When you can use using CLI for download. When to use CLI for download is if you are having the file size is greater than 100 MB, then you will use CLI by using a get command option. Otherwise, so if it is file size is very less, what you can do, you have a download option here itself. So directly you can download it from the user interface itself. You will get a download option. But if the file size is very huge, if you click on the download option, it won't work. So then only we have to use the CLI implementation.
Okay, I think my question is when you're using CLI for download, so what are the file formats supported apart from CSV?
When you are using CLI also, it will be CSV and then tab separated value. And then if you are using CLI, there is an option of Parquet file format. You have to convert that into Parquet file format. 3 options it will support in a CLI.
So
Not
there's no support for JSON, is it?
It will not support when you are especially downloading.
Right.
It will not support. Yeah. How to know the
So-
size of your table? If you observe, see this one, just if you move the cursor here, you can able to see what is the size, right? So which table, so we are so trying to download, you can able to see the size here itself in the information. Yeah.
If
Yes.
it is a very big table, you wanted to load only like
Mm.
selected rows, can we, how to check the size of like 100 carry cards or 200 carry cards we wanted to export, or by date range we wanted to export, how to check the size?
In that case, it is not possible. So only the option is, so we have to load it into any intermediate stage table. There is a concept of temporary table and then transient tables. We will load it into the temporary tables. From that particular temporary table, whatever we required, so we can pick those records by using a date range condition only. There we will use the where conditions, but in copy command, right, we cannot able to implement where conditions. That is not possible.
Okay.
Good question. Can I load multiple files into the named stage? Any restriction? There is no restriction, Suresh. We can load n number of files here.
Hey, Dinesh, this is Mohan
Yes,
here.
yes, Mohan. Yeah, tell me more.
So basically, I have a couple of doubts here. If it is a large table, so then obviously, if we export into a named stage, it'll export into like multiple files, right? Thousands of multiple files, right? So in that case, how can, I mean, since the named stage, we don't have any separators like directories or something like that, but how we can actually download that particular exactly the files. If it is one or two files, then we can identify by listing the files and can choose them to download it.
Correct.
What if we have like if you export like 300 GB to 500 GB at least, it'll export at least to 5,000.
Yes,
More than 5,000 number of files.
Understand question. So in that case, right, what we will do is, so we will not use in that case our on premises, right? Most of the time it will be in any of the cloud location. There will be a folder structure will be there. For example, all the like related to the files related to one folder structure, like JSON files, Parquet files, CSV files, everything will be separated with a folder structure. Then we can go there and then we can like identify that which particular structure we have to download. That option is there.
Okay. So other than that, can't we export the table into a specific directory in the namespace? Like with the table name or table name underscore like some timestamp or something like that. In the specific directory.
Specific directory, you wanted to export into specific directory, that is possible, right? Here also we have done the same thing, right? For example, we have exported the table into this particular directory by using this particular get option. So if you wanted to change, you can use you can change the directory.
This is actually from named stage to downloading the local.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
But my question is exporting the table into specific directory in a named stage.
In a named stage, yeah, name stage will be by default only one here, right?
Okay.
So only one stage will be created. So if you wanted to do that, the separately, so we can give the separate stage names here. So because in a stage, when you created a stage, that is a single like a directory we can consider.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, if we have like large tables, we have to create a dedicated name stage.
Yes, correct.
Okay. The other one, since I mean, in select query, we can actually download it, right? Which means like when we select the data, will it be copied to table stage or something like that?
Correct. So when you are selecting, it will pick it from the backend. Yeah.
Backend. Okay. So
what will happen?
And it'll support.
Reason I will tell you. When you use select star from, it will pick the complete records. When you use like preview data, it is going to give only the first 100 records. It is not going to pick everything. If you observe whatever the queries we are running, right, we will discuss about this also later. Now if you observe this, whatever the query we have executed here, see this one, just we have given the preview data. What is the query it executed in the backend? Select star from this particular table, limit 100. It means it restricted only 100 records. But when you use select star from, so here if you observe, this is select star from. See this one, it picked the complete data, right? That is the reason behind that.
Okay. Yeah, for the downloading copy into clipboard, it supports only two delimiters, right? So only
Only
tab
two
and comma separated
exactly.
ones. Yeah. If we have copy into name stage, we can specify like enclosed the fields within the double quotes or single quotes and something. But
Yes,
here there is no option,
there is
such
no
option for that.
Yes, they don't have.
So if any field contains like comma or tab, so how I mean it will be passed in a different way, right, for that
Yes,
particular rows.
exactly. True.
So in that case, it won't work basically.
It won't work. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions from anyone?
So normally in real time we won't every time we won't export. I mean, data from our local.
We won't do that regularly. So, but so for the understanding purpose, we are doing that. Yeah.
Sir, in this session, I mean, maybe in upcoming class we'll cover anything like that. I mean, importing data from any database version, right?
Yeah, we are going to see that. So how to pick the things from the AWS S3 cloud locations, how to load the data, and how we are going to implement a continuous ingestion process. All these things we will see that.
Dinesh, one last one.
Yes.
So all these stages like table stage, user stage, and internal stage. This is internal stage only, right? Name stage in the sense.
Correct.
Okay. So these stages, what is the like storage layer where it resides in the architecture?
In the architecture layer, so these storages, right? So when you are using this, whatever it may, the name stage or these particular stages, it will be in a computation layer.
Okay. So and if it is in computation layer, I mean, we whenever we want to run something, then only the clusters will be activated, right? I mean,
Correct.
will be launched and executed.
Yes.
So how come? I mean, but the data will be there at least for 14 days, as you said. So, so in case these, I mean, data stored on some of the disks on
First, first
warehouse.
There is a process. Till we didn't discuss, other guys. So we are going to discuss this architecture things later again. So others don't get confused. So what will happen is on the first, when you are picking something, first it will go to the computation layer. It will check it in a virtual cache. In computation also, you will have a cache. If it is not available, then it will go to the result cache. Then it will go to the metadata, the cache layer that is available in a cloud services layer. So that is the final thing. So where we will get that complete information before going and then checking that. Before hitting that, it will check it in a result caches. Result cache will be there for 24 hours. If it is like a more than 24 hours, if it is not available in result cache, then it will go to the metadata cache.
Okay. But these files are stored on. Is there any kind of like disks or something? Because of course we won't manage them. Internally it will be managed, but at least for the
Yes, it will be in a like a file formats, a columnar storage. We used to call it as a we can say that exactly disk. It's kind of file formats. We can say that.
Okay.
Would that be like in-memory storage, where these files are stored temporarily?
This will be
Yeah, that's
stored
what my
in
question is.
this will be stored in cloud providers. So which cloud provider we are selecting? The storage layer. For example, if you are selecting AWS, it will be in AWS S3 location.
Okay. So these are like, I mean, this is a persistent disk, but
Exactly. Yeah.
it'll
Physical
tie up with the
in,
resource
cloud locations.
warehouses, virtual warehouses.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yes. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
1 second,
And then file
Dinesh.
loading. I can see one question, Shiva.
Yeah.
For file loading. Automate the files. Yes, file loading we can able to do it by using Snowpipe implementation. There is a concept for auto ingestion process. By using that, we can able to automate it. We will see that also.
Yeah, Dinesh, there's a question on the certification. Can you see that? Like, no, just come down. Will you come down? Yeah, could you please share the details on the like the first message?
How to automate the files loading?
Above
Can I load multiple files into name stage and
above one.
Okay, could you
Yeah.
please share the details on the certification and this is training sufficient? Yeah, it's sufficient for that. I will share you we have a dumps. I will upload that into your drive, guys. Okay, you can also make use of that. Yeah. I will do that today.
I mean, this certification is at the architect level, like, so after getting this
So
course,
first, yes, you can go for first initially Snow Pro course certification. So once it is completed, after there will be a time limitation. I think like 3 months or 6 months. After that, you can like go for a like architect level certification.
okay. So for doing certification, like what kind of support will get? You will share any documentation?
I will. So that's what I am telling. I will upload the dumps. Okay, the documentations and the dumps for the certifications. So you have to prepare those certification dumps. It's almost all like 90% of the questions will come from there. Okay, only like 6 to 7 questions it will vary, but you have to practice properly because answers will be shuffled, questions will be shuffled, but so everything, the concepts and everything, it will be the same.
Okay, Dinesh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.